Hello and welcome back to AutoCAD in 20 hours, Chapter 2. This video covers sections 2.7 and 2.8. Visit www.autocadin20hours.com. Check your YouTube settings. Under the quality setting, set it to HD if possible. We didn't quite get a chance to finish up the drawing here in the last video because we ran out of our 15-minute time limit. So let's trim a little bit more. Hit the trim button and enter. We're going to trim this line out here, 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 and we are going to trim here. And then we're going to get rid of these lines, erase them. Okay. This knee brace got it in the wrong place, so let's move it. Click on the move button, and then we can select the different parts of it and use this as our base point, and then just move it over to here. Click on the trim, enter, and then clean the door trim out of that. Okay, the next thing we want to do is we want to put the lines in the garage door. So type divide, enter, and read the command line. It says to select the object to divide. We're going to come over here and select the side of the door. Then it wants the number of segments, and we are going to type 5, enter. Now what that does is you can't really see it yet, but it broke this up into 5 different segments, or more accurately what it did is it added nodes. So to hit the line and then come up here, and you'll see a little node comes up. Turn your ortho on. So click on that node and then come over and click the parallel to the other side, and then repeat the line, come up and get the next node, and this is how you divide lines up. And as it says in the book, you know, you want to make sure that you don't mistake this midpoint, the triangle, for a node. Okay, so let's type divide again, and then select this top line, type 4, enter, and just repeat the process now. There we go. Sometimes they're a little bit hard to find. Now on this one, the center node and the midpoint are the same, so it doesn't really matter which you pick there. There you go. So now the garage is divided up into sections. Okay, next we are going to add the rail for the house, and let's start with the offset. 3, enter. I'm going to make this a little larger so you can see it. Offset again, 42, enter, standard height for a rail. Now we're going to trim these out. Trim, enter right away. See, that did not take. Sometimes the trim doesn't take. Double click if it doesn't, and then enter. And we're going to trim these here, 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 and then we're going to erase what's left of them. Now we're going to offset again, 1.5, that's 1.5 inches, and pick up this new line, and then above, and then this line, and below, and then again below that one. Now we're going to offset again, 0.75, enter, and click on that line into this outside of it, and to this line, and to the outside over here. and then use the extend button, click on the extend and enter right away, and extend this line over to that 7.75 on both sides. Okay, so now type divide, enter, 11, enter. It didn't take. Let's try again. Divide, enter, select the object, 11, enter. And we will now find a whole series of nodes along this line. So there's a number of different ways you could do a rail. This is not really the fastest way. The reason I'm doing it this way is to show you how this whole system of divide can be used for different things. But there are faster ways that you could do this, and the book talks about that a little bit. But you could just use the copy commands, or you could also use the offset command. Okay, now we're going to offset 0.75, enter, and we're going to offset each of these both sides. And once again, that's not the fastest way to do it, but this is the way it's done in the book. It's just to demonstrate the principle once again, so we can pick up some different skills. But once again, you could imagine you could just copy the first one to these different positions and not really have to go through this whole process. And then we're going to come back and click on these center ones, and we're going to erase them. And you can erase them with the delete button on your keyboard or the command. So now we're going to erase this line, the 7.75 line, and we're going to trim, enter, and trim. See, that did not take again. Double click when it doesn't take, enter, and there we go. We have a rail with even spaces in between them. The reason you have to have that extra 70.75 is so these spaces come out to be the same. And I'm not going to really get into that right now. Now we're going to add the chimney to the house. So let's click on the offset, type 18, enter. Click on this line and to the side, 18. And now take this line, click on it, and when these little grip boxes come up, click on this top one. Make sure the ortho is on. Ortho on. And then just kind of pull the line up, but don't click, and type 30, enter. And you'll see it extends the line up 30, then enter again to get out of it. Line command, ortho on, 18, enter. And then now we're just going to come down, and we can just click right there and then use the trim. See, once again, you can see it didn't take. Well, often you have to double click on the trim to make it work, and the extend also, and then we just trim that out. Okay, so now we're going to add the top of the chimney in. So let's use the line command, pick up the midpoint icon with the ortho on, type 24, enter. I'm going to escape or enter again, then offset 5, enter. Offset again, 7, enter. Offset again, 8, enter. Now offset again, 6, enter, and we're going to do a series of 6-inch lines on up. Okay, now we're going to use a new command over here on the draw toolbar. Come down and find the spline. Click on the spline. Click on this second or not down here on the chimney, but the first 6-inch line above it, and turn the ortho off so you can see what's going on. Click on this line, then this one, and then this one. Now you can see the thing gets kind of squirrely on you here, and if you take and wiggle it around, you see what happens. You see where you're at the end, where you click at the end here, determines how the last part of the line is shaped. The whole thing changes, actually the whole shape of it changes a little bit as you move it around. And it becomes smoother the higher up you go. So come on up into here someplace where it looks relatively decent to your eye, and just click, enter, and then hit the trim, enter. It didn't take again. Double click on the trim, enter, click there, and we are going to now erase all of these lines. Hold on a second. That was not quite right, because we're going to leave this lower line. So click on the trim, enter, and trim it out here. Okay, and then we can erase all of these and erase these. Now hit the mirror button. Select these two lines, because they're actually two separate lines, and read the command line. It's asking for your first point of the mirror line. Click on this line here in the middle, and then my computer just froze. Sometimes it freezes when it saves, and then click on the top. It disappears, but then hit the enter and it comes back in again. Then erase this center line here. The other thing I've got in this section is adding the stairs. So let's use the offset. Type 8, enter, and let's pick up this line here and click it down. And I'm going to do a little differently than the book. Click on the trim, enter, trim it, then click on the offset again, and 8 is already in there, so you can just enter. You look down at the command line, the last number you added stays in there. So now we just come down here, and we're going to leave this last 3.5 as a depiction of the concrete sidewalk. And so there you go. We got one more thing we missed from before. Let's clean that up. Type or click on the trim, enter, and then let's trim these out here. Okay, we are starting to get close to a house. One more thing, click on the line and close that off. So there we go. That finishes up this video, and visit AutoCAD in 20hours.com.